Well, it's been a long time coming, but finally I'm back to talk Season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Season 3 is an interesting chapter for the show. It focuses even more on character developments than the previous two did, thus incorporating way more self-contained episodes than Season 2 did. Yet it simultaneously wraps up an arc that started with the very first episode, high school.
Guys, take a moment to deal with this. We survived.
It was a hell of a battle.
Not the battle. High school.
This is the Scooby Gang's final year of high school, and thus the weight is felt in every single episode. This is also the final season to feature Angel and Cordelia as main characters, as they left the show to star in the spin-off Angel.
You fight demons. At any moment, one of them could walk right through that very door.
Which I will be discussing as well. Season 3 kicks off with a great character piece called Anne. Still dealing with the fact that she had to murder her lover Angel, Buffy has moved to Los Angeles. Taking on her middle name Anne, she works as a waitress desperately trying to be a nobody. Every single time I see the segment at the diner, it reminds me of Sarah Connor from the first Terminator film. Sarah Michelle Gellar owns the episode, as she does most of them this season. Both she and Buffy have matured at this point, and the writing and acting is on point. We also get a first glimpse at Los Angeles, which will be the setting for Angel's very own show.
We do things a certain way in LA.
Well, I'm new here.
And to this day, I find it fascinating that a few scenes from this very episode would become part of Angel's intro. And speaking of intros, even the new rendition of the intro song, which would go on to stay for the rest of the show's duration, is a big improvement. Buffy stumbles upon interdimensional demons who prey on the young and hopeless, using them as slave labor.
Who are you?
No one.
Who are you?
I'm Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, and you are?
I adore the action in the pilot episode, which shows us how far the show has come in terms of production value. We're also reintroduced to a young girl that was first seen in Season 2, where she was part of a vampire fan club / cult. After having been rescued by Buffy, she takes on her middle name Anne and stays in LA. But this is not the last time we see her, as she makes a few appearances on Angel.
Charles!
Eddie.
While Buffy is gone, her friends have stepped up to do the slaying for her, which is both badass and kind of hilarious.
That's right, big boy. Come and get it.
That really never works.
Buffy's return in the second episode is gut-wrenching. The fact that her friends feel betrayed by her and have kind of moved on from her is a punch to the stomach. It is such an honest and emotional episode that, honest to God, it didn't even need the silly zombie plotline to work. Willow and Xander work off of Buffy so well at this point that I'm no longer seeing actors but characters. And Buffy's mom, Joyce, also gets a hell of a lot more screen time, which to me is more than welcome. Each member of the Scooby Gang has become more self-confident and an essential part of the group. Xander, now officially Cordy's boyfriend, still has some army knowledge after having been turned into a soldier during last year's Halloween. Oz has found his place in the group as the voice of reason, who's still dealing with his werewolf problem 3 days a month. And Willow is continuing to develop into a powerful witch. She and Xander start to play with fire this season, which eventually leads to Cordy breaking up with him.
Xander?
Yeah.
Stay away from me.
And for the very first time, we, the audience, feel bad for her. Not only does she no longer fit in with the Scooby Gang, but her former superficial friends don't want her either.
I have just the stallion. He's so you. I'm pretty sure he won't cheat on you. At least not for a while. Plus, he's got a kill moped.
Add to that the fact that her father filed for bankruptcy and we're having some serious moments for Miss Chase this year. And as if things couldn't go more crazy, we throw in new and old characters into the mix.
Home, sweet home.
Angel returns from hell. He may have been sent back by the powers that be. Who are they, you ask? Well, wait for my Angel Season 1 review.
You don't know who he is, do you? Oh boy, you're about to get your ass kicked.
Buffy keeps his return a secret, which eventually alienates her even more from her friends after the truth comes out.
What's going on?
We know Angel is alive. Sandra saw you with him. It would appear that you've been hiding him and that you lied to us.
Nobody's here to blame you, Buffy. But this is serious. You need help.
Spike appears in one single episode, which is fucking phenomenal.
Spike.
Oh my god. Get out of here.
Yeah, you're not invited.
He's crazy. He'll kill us.
Not will I breathe. Well, actually, I don't breathe. Joyce, listen to me.
You get out of this house, or I will stake you myself.
After the events of Season 2, Drusilla has left him, so he tries to force Willow to bring her back to him using magic. The tension between him, Angel, and Buffy is priceless, and James Marsters nails both the dramatic and humorous moments.
Oh, God. Now what? We killed a homeless man on this bench. Me and Drew. There's a good times. You know, he begged for mercy, and that only made it bite harder.
I guess you had to be there.
We also see the arrival of this year's big bad, Mayor Wilkins III, who is an ancient being and intends to gain his true powers in what's known as the Ascension. He is such a dramatic shift when it comes to Buffy villains. He's not a vicious mass murderer like Angelus, nor is he an over-the-top stereotype like the Master. He's a businessman who enjoys miniature golf, has an infectious smile and almost dad-like qualities, which is why his menacing moments become particularly interesting and effective.
That's one spunky little girl you've raised. I'm gonna eat her.
He's always been one of my favorite big bads, which leads me to the single most important addition this year, Faith.
It's okay, I got it. You're Buffy, right? I'm Faith.
After the death of Kendra, Faith was called to become the new Slayer, but she is the exact opposite of her predecessor. She's reckless, doesn't care for rules, grew up without friends, lost her watcher to a vampire, and is everything Buffy could become under different circumstances. She starts out as an anti-hero before becoming full-on villain, after killing a man by accident and not taking responsibility for it.
Faith, you don't get it. You killed a man.
No, you don't get it. I don't care.
She is Buffy's nemesis and is seduced by Wilkins, who legit becomes her father figure and actually cares for her. I love the dynamic between the both of them. It's so weird to see two bad guys in such a heartfelt relationship.
I've got 2 words that are gonna make all the pain go away. Miniature. Golf.
The combat sequences between Faith and Buffy are exciting as hell. And speaking of father figures, Giles has never been better. He's no longer the stiff watcher, but more of a father figure to Buffy. His role for the rest of the series is determined in the ingenious episode Helpless, where the Watcher's Council forces him to take away Buffy's powers and have her fight a vicious vampire as a test. This episode is one of the most terrifying of the entire show, and watching our strong lead being reduced to a scared little girl is heartbreaking.
When I hit him, it felt like my arm was broken. It hurt so much. I can't be just a person. I can't be helpless like that.
Giles eventually intervenes and tells Buffy the truth, forcing the council to expel him and replace him with Wesley Wyndham Pryce, a clumsy dork who no one is taking seriously.
New Watcher?
New Watcher.
Wesley Wyndham Pryce.
Well, apart from Cordelia, who actually falls for him and finds him every bit as sexy as James Bond. What I love about Wesley is the fact that he's not a villain. He actually has good intentions. It's just that the gang doesn't want or need him to replace Giles. The third season is all about our inner dark side and our double identity. Faith is what Buffy could become. Xander is seen as a loser by everyone, but one episode dedicated to him is both hilarious and important for him as a character. The premise of the episode is that the world is ending, and while all of our fighters, Faith, Angel, Giles, Buffy, and Willow, are taking on hell, the focus lies on Xander, who has his own misadventures, and unbeknownst to all, he actually saves the day. Giles and Wesley mirror each other, as it is Giles who was very much like Wesley in Season 1. At the same time, his warm father attitude towards Buffy is mirrored by the mayor's affection for Faith. Oz literally has to battle his inner demon, the wolf. Cordy is becoming what she used to mock, an outcast. And Angel has to deal with his very own dark past. In the fantastic episode Immense, he is haunted by the people he murdered, including Jenny Calendar.
Don't you see her?
Who?
This episode finally gives Angel his very own arc. In a way, it's both an unofficial pilot to his spin-off and a first look at the series' final big bad, the First, an evil presence able to take on the form of people who have died.
The first evil. Beyond sin, beyond death. I am the thing the darkness fears.
This being desperately wants Angel to die, as he will become a champion in the battle against the forces of evil. This season also features some of the best standalone episodes ever. I already mentioned the Zeppo, which is kind of a parody of all the Buffy tropes.
Love you.
I love you.
Nothing can change that. Not even death.
Don't talk to me like that. You may be ready to go, but I am not ready to lose you. Okay, this is my fight. And if you won't do it my way, then you're...
Hey. I've got this, There's this, This is probably a bad time.
Then there's Earshot, an episode where Buffy starts to hear the thoughts of everyone around her after having been exposed to demon blood.
I am my thoughts. If they exist in her, Buffy contains everything that is me, and she becomes me. I cease to exist.
What am I gonna do? I think about sex all the time. Sex. Help. 4 times 5 is 30. 5 times 6 is 32. Naked girls. Naked women. Naked Buffy. Oh, stop me.
God, Xander, is that all you think about?
Actually, bye.
But the cake goes to the Wish, one of the darkest episodes of the entire show. In it, a heartbroken Cordelia blames Buffy for everything that has happened to her. She wishes that Buffy had never come to Sunnydale in the first place, a wish that is granted to her by the demon Anyanka. Thus, Cordy wakes up in an alternate dimension in which the Master is still alive, Xander and Willow are vampires in love and under his command, and Angel is tortured by them for having a soul. This episode is so wicked. I mean, it features the on-screen deaths of Cordelia, Buffy, Angel, Willow, and Xander before this dimension's Giles is able to destroy Anyanka's amulet, breaking her curse and making her human.
I wish Buffy Summers had never been born.
Done.
And I wish that Xander Harris never again knows the touch of a woman. And that Willow wakes up tomorrow covered in monkey hair.
And you know what? As a human, she's actually a fun character and eventually falls for Xander. The season literally ends with a blast, where all of our main characters and even some of our minor characters like the nerd Jonathan take on the mayor's armies of vampires. Buffy blows up the school, killing the vengeful Wilkins who wanted to eat her for putting Faith in a coma. The blown-up school finally symbolizes the end of the high school era. And Angel leaving Buffy after realizing he can never give her what she truly needs sets up his storyline for his very own show. Out of the first 3 seasons, this is definitely my favorite. It has the most fun, the most horror, the most action, and above all else, the most character moments. Stay tuned for season 4, which I will discuss very soon.